Hey guys, Patrick Johnston, managing broker, co-owner of Go Dominican Life, your real estate company right here in Dominican Republic. And today we're here in Sosua, right here in Margarita's house, and we're going to talk about property management. But before we get going, let me introduce everybody. First of all, the guy with a beautiful name, with the most spiritual name on planet Earth, also known as Patrick. So you have two Patricks in the room. Patrick, welcome to the group.
Hi, I'm Patrick.
Patrick is our regional supervisor for guest services for management and short-term rentals here in the North Coast, covering Puerto Plata, Cabarete, and Sosua. And of course, without saying anything, this is Margarita. Margarita Van Dam is our master broker in the North Coast, based here in Sosua, covering Sosua, Cabarete, Puerto Plata. And we're going to talk generally about management and the importance of management in the real estate circle, as I call it. As everybody knows in real estate, especially here in the Dominican Republic, most properties that you are buying as clients generally don't occupy a property full time, meaning 365 days a year you live here in the house. And that's definitely not what the normalcy is. What is normal is to have some sort of assistance to make sure that your properties are being managed correctly here in the Dominican Republic. So let's pass it over to Margarita and maybe share with us, how many people generally, as a percentage, buy property and owner occupy full time.
Yeah, to give you a little bit of an idea, like 95% of our buyers, first of all, are foreign buyers. So most of these people, they are working on their retirement, but are not ready to move here yet. And people want to prepare for retirement. So what they do, they have their money ready. They want to lock in a property and work for a couple of years in their home country and enjoy the property while they make money. So that is what 90% of the buyers do. Some of them move down in full because they're ready and they don't have to work anymore. We have a few of those who wait to purchase until they're really ready. But most of the people really are looking to make some money. Mm-hmm. And also, having your money sitting in the bank doesn't really bring anything to anyone. It's smarter to put your money in real estate and make it produce for you. So that is what a lot of people do. Most people do.
Well, the challenge with management, or the challenge with real estate ownership, especially if this is your second home, regardless of it being a condo or a villa, there's three types of management that we look at. Number one, in not specific order, the least amount of impact for management is basically a property that is a non-owner occupied property that is not in a rental program. There are a few people on this planet that believe 100% that their second home is entirely to be used by them and nobody else. I remember when I was selling real estate in Canada and we had second homes in my city of Halifax for people from Toronto. And if I remember one that I went in to talk to somebody about management, and I sat, they tour you around the home, and I sat on the corner of the master bedroom bed and started to explain something. And it was that act alone was so personal to them that I knew they couldn't handle even external clients in their home. Yeah. It sounds a little weird, but some people can be like that, and there's not a problem with that. But that level of service is just basically management. And management basically is a weekly check, a weekly video, a weekly light cleaning, making sure the fans are on for a little bit, TVs are working, the ACs work, everything's tested, everything's put on video, windows are opened, the fresh air comes in for a couple of hours. And that's important because all the systems must be checked. The water, electricity, any security alarms, etc. Just for peace of mind and for also to make sure that in the case of emergency, both our team and you as an owner are fully aware of what is happening all the time with your property. The second version of that is somebody that comes down for 6 months a year, call it, and the opposite time of the year, they want to have management and short-term rentals. Now that specific type of client from North America will typically come down in what we call the winter season or the high season, sometime November, December, and leave like when the snow is gone in North America. So income for them is very, very secondary. It's not a prime rental income, okay? So in the off season, we still do the weekly checks and whatnot, but in the winter season, they're primarily using their property specifically. But the overwhelming majority of people is the third level of management, and that is, show me the money, Jerry. Those people, which we like because we share in the success in property management. We want to generate as much money for you as a client. And of course, we share as a percentage of the income. So for us as a company, obviously that works best. But we work with all three types. But the majority of people, before they come down to occupy full-time or half a year, want to have as much money as they can at the end of the day. And that's what we're here to assist with. So with Patrick, Patrick, another guy with a great name, by the way. Patrick is in charge of all of our guest services for the North Coast, from Puerto Plata, Sosua, Cabarete. Currently in our company on the North Coast, we have roughly a half a dozen properties. And in Las Terrenas, Samana, where our original base is, we have around 12 properties, plus the hotel that I own and operate. Patrick has been around me for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, something like that, between our connection. His brother, Fred, and I have been best friends for 7 or 8, 9 years, I guess, 9 years now. But Patrick joined our system a while back and has been watching what we've been doing in Las Terrenas, and now has recently relocated to Sosua, out of our Sosua office to run the management, etc. So Patrick, the question for you is this. When you look at the things that can happen in property management, give us some of the things that our viewers, as owners of real estate, may not know that we do in the course of a day. What sort of things? Now, let me give you an example. So typically in property management, we would always expect to have some kind of phone call or interaction 24 hours a day.
24 hours a day.
We've had someone from, they get home from a nightclub or a bar or a restaurant at 3 in the morning and say they're out of towels. You know, a simple explanation.
You got to
like
make
that.
sure you give it to them.
Or
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
toilet paper. Yeah, that's another high value call.
They lost their keys.
Lost their keys. Electricity or utilities are out.
No hot water.
No hot water. Electricity's gone for some reason. But these are the kind of things that we manage. But why don't you walk us through typically what happens when, so we take our digital reservation, it goes through our internal system, and then you get notified that somebody's coming. Let's use the example of the check-in yesterday. Why don't you explain what happens when you get the reservation and typically what you do with a client before they, or when they arrive?
Pretty much what I do once I get a reservation, I go to the house, make sure everything is okay, check for hot water, we have water, electricity, make sure everything works. We have, get the girls to clean the house, make sure everything clean up, like window ceiling, every little small part, like, you know, that needs to be clean. Make sure everything is clean. And then look for everything that's that need to be ready. So you don't want like the client to keep calling you like, I need this, I need that. We're missing this, we're missing that. So it's my duty to make sure everything's okay. So I have a form that I go by, that I fill it out, make sure everything is what it is.
Yeah.
Before the clients come around, and I go meet them and show them around. And then always willing to be understandable, to understand where they're coming from and when they help them, make sure they have the best service ever.
Yeah. Because there's a couple of things. When we onboard a property for the first time from a new client, a new owner, what we do, very first thing, because it leads into everything that Patrick does, is that we go in and we do firstly a full inventory of the home. Right down to how many forks and how many knives, how many face cloths or towels or bed sheets. Everything is a full list. Our clients sign off on that list. We then inspect all the linens Believe it or not, a lot of the linens that come from pre-existing, we will never use.
Yeah.
It's not a disrespectful thing, but it's not an operational thing either. A lot of our, all of our sheets are white for a reason, because they can be, when you're doing high turnover, because high turnover equals high revenue for a client, we want to make sure that we have proper, higher quality linen that are white, that we can soak and that we can scrub and we can clean. Because you can't do that effectively with multicolor sheets or any dark color sheet. You can't go through a commercialized sanitation system that we use. So that's very important. The other thing that we do right away when we onboard a property that makes his life easier in guest services is that we test everything. Like I said about with management of properties that are not going to be rented, we make sure that all the burners of the stove, the broiler, the fridge, the ice cube maker, all the windows are opening and locking, all the ACs work, all the fans work. Because with clients, paying clients, they will not put up with little things, which are big things in property management. Worst one is stains on bed sheets,
Stains on bed sheets.
unwanted hair in all the wrong spaces. Cleanliness, which means when we take on board a property and we do a deep cleaning before we do anything, all the furniture is removed, all the cabinets are removed. We go through everything from front to back, behind the TV, everything out of the obviously out of the fridges, everything out of the kitchen cabinets, because we have to make sure that all historical use of grime and dirt are removed. Because here's the thing. It's so important that reviews on all the booking channels, they can be your success or your failure. So as a management company, we only are measured by our success when we have positive reviews. And I can't tell you enough how impactful they are, because it's all the simplest of things. The other thing that's true is in today's world, internet. If your internet speed is not high quality, then you're going to get very negative responses on our channels, which will impact the room rate and why people book that property, yes or no. And in this case, cleanliness, internet, and that all the functions work. Is that correct in your experience?
Yeah, you're right.
So your experience when a guest arrival, let's walk through that one more time. Somebody books and they're arriving here at 5 o'clock to check into, say, this house. Patrick will go over about a couple hours before, if he hasn't been there the day before or the day of,
Even
just to verify that all things are on. So the 1 or 2 hours before, we'll go over and make sure all the fans are on. Just double check that all the functions of the home are working again, that all the cleaning crew have been gone, the pool is ready, everything's folded in the right way, little swans in the beds. Funny enough how those are. Yeah, they love it. A little bit of flowers here and there that we do to sort of make the good times roll, if you will. Then you greet the guest on site for key delivery.
for key delivery.
You walk them through the home,
Show them everything.
show them everything in terms of where things are,
Wi-Fi codes.
all the codes, Wi-Fi codes, how to reach you for anything,
Anything.
you know, because guest services means he's on duty 24 hours a day.
24 hours.
And it's rare that we get things in the middle of the night. But again, if someone tries to reach out to us and we're working for you and we're not available to take the call and resolve the problem, that will give us a negative review, which will impact on your property. So keep that in mind as we work through. So Margarita, why don't you talk about, from your experience with the hundreds of clients that you work with every year, what are people looking for in management as far as you're concerned, as someone who sells real estate to people?
Yeah. Right now, people mostly are looking for a property that looks and feels like a family home, like a place where they want to share with their own family, but also something compact, rather new. People don't like to have older homes anymore. People want to have like a more new-looking property or even a pre-construction home. Some people even, because while you were talking, I was thinking about the fact that we're selling in a residential where they sell 3-bedroom condos with 2 baths only, and we're selling a lot of those, for example, because a lot of people, just as you said, that the guy who didn't want you to sit on his bed, some people, they want to rent their property, but they still want to keep something to themselves. So we're selling 3-bedroom condos, and they lock off 1 bedroom, which is a great idea, because then you can rent the unit as a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and your 3rd bedroom is your little palace. When you go home, when you go back to your home country, you put all your stuff away, you have your closet with all your clothes in it, you close the door, and nobody ever knows what's behind that door, because that's your own personal little palace with your own mattress, and nobody will sleep in your bed. So that is what a lot of people are looking into. Yeah, we're not talking about sales right now, which is my thing. I cannot let loose of sales. That's my baby. But, you know, we sell for people to find their home away from home and to make money. A lot of people come and invest and just want to have the right property, which gives them a good ROI, which brings money to their pockets, and this is still one of the places where you can make money. So our rental department proves that, and day by day you can see all the bookings come in, and it's a success to our clients. I think that's a great thing.
In the past, let's call it last couple of years, as we rolled out all the divisions of our company, one of the last ones we rolled out was property management for a specific reason. As a nationwide company, we had to get everything in certain order, because the functionality of property management is a lot of widgets, bits and pieces. It's a low margin business for those that are in the understanding of property management. And because there's so many different things that are involved to make it a success, unless you have all those people in your system, you can really screw it up if you don't do it right. So to give you an idea, we probably have, let's see, on property managed, the administration of real estate sales and marketing and operations, we probably have 12 people currently in our system. And in property management, we have about the same or greater, with very, in terms of the volume of per transaction, we're probably 4 times the labor rate for every transaction in property management than we are in sales. Mm-hmm. I know it sounds strange for me to say that, but that's very, very true. But I know, because I was selling real estate for 20 odd years in Canada, and I was in the property management world originally before I was in real estate sales. So I understand the necessity for Stephen and Los Terrenos, our master broker there, and my business partner, and my business partner here as well, and master broker in Sosua, that the missing piece for her here was the ability to have the confidence that property management is here, because it helps you as a client choose us as a company, and it helps her help you with a sale, knowing that we are full circle.
Exactly.
You can come in as a brand new lead that have never touched our company before, seen us here on YouTube or on social media, look to buy property, but know you can do financing, you can do the acquisition with Margarita or the sale from Margarita. You move right into then property management. All your maintenance issues are then easily done. All your property improvements can also be done easily, because we can manage both renovations, design, short-term rentals, and more. And the good thing about sort of all of this is that because we are also a construction company, a development company, we're with 2 communities now underway, one already in Los Terrenos and soon to be announced officially here in Sosua, that property management is such a necessity. In the next 12 to 24 months, just from our internal developments, we'll have about 160 properties or so inside of our property management world. So currently, to have around 20 properties between Sosua and Las Terrenas is a small piece of the pie that we are growing. My history, have you seen my history by way of YouTube videos in the past? I had just over 3,400 individual rentals that I owned and operated in Canada. So property management is not something that that is new to me. The depth of experience is far greater than I ever want to share. But it was also that in Canada was long-term rentals. Here in the Dominican Republic, I don't suggest long-term rentals because it's less profitable. This is a destination there where short-term rentals can double or triple your income rather than doing a short-term rental. And the wear and tear on your property for short-term rentals is far less than long-term rentals. So Patrick, tell me something else in terms of property management that, let me see, a couple things that I want you to talk about. Tell me about some of the questions that you get when people show up that are either new. Let's use your Las Terrenas experience, for example. What are some of the questions that people ask the most when they show up and they take possession of a short-term rental? What are they asking you mostly?
Ask me for how's the internet, and do we have hot water? How far is the beach from the property? How's the area? And
Where can we go for dinner?
where the closest bar?
Yep. So some of the things that we do with that, we have a number of, we'll call it a coupon book for the short term to say that. But we've negotiated with multiple restaurants in Las Terrenas, soon to be here in Sosua. The people that rent property here in Las Terrenas or Sosua, that if they show up, we have a dozen or so property restaurants or bars that offer you, if you show a card, you get a discount. That's a benefit. Plus, of course, as they ask you, is what are the attractions in the area? What if I run out of this? What if I run out of that?
Yeah, you the person for me to call. Like, can I get ATV,
Yeah, I was going to say
motorcycle,
quads, mopeds,
car
quads,
rental,
car rentals. Yeah. Or some people don't even rent a car, so they'll talk to Patrick and say, "Look, I want to do a run to the grocery store."
Yeah.
So we can accommodate all these type of things, and we get all the weirdest of questions, and most importantly, we see a lot of weird things.
Yeah.
Things that we can't talk about on YouTube. But people are on vacation. And whether it's with an Airbnb program like us or people that stay at the Holiday Inn, these things occur in those environments. And but it all comes back to functionality, cleanliness, and customer service.
Yeah, and I would like to add something on it. I think when I sell a property, a worry of a lot of clients is, okay, I have this property, but now I'm going home, so what do I have to do? And it's such a comfort for all the people who stepped into our property management to be able to say, here's my keys. I don't have to do anything anymore. You take care of it. You send me nice videos, nice reviews. And on top of it, you send me money. That's what people want. People don't want to think about having to put the TV on because you're close to the ocean and corrosion could damage your TV. They don't want to think about it. They want to come back to their home, away from home, put the TV on and everything is working, not take care of anything, the place is clean. And on top of that, their airplane ticket is paid for because the money is in the account. So these are really important things for our buyers, and it's really nice that we also offer this service in this area now.
You talked about earlier, Margarita, the owner's closet or locking off a room. That brings me to a topic that is a little bit sensitive for people when we're being interviewed to be the manager of their real estate. And that is called depersonalizing your property. Whether you're selling real estate in Margarita's position or when we're managing property for her and her clients, is that your stuff is not important to them.
Exactly.
Some of your artwork, some of your pictures on the wall, your special things aren't special for clients. And I've said to many clients, don't take offense to my comment, but we need to put away about half of your stuff. Because there's a couple things can happen. Things can get broken, or things can get misplaced or used in a way that you don't want them to be used. Little trinkets, like little bits of artwork like this, or very personal pieces of art, maybe like this. There's better ways to do it. I'll give you an example. We have a client in Los Terrenos that had a condo, and this was a pretty heavy discussion because it was a matter of, let's call it, their property was full of like movie posters and different rugs and different paint colors that were perfect if you lived in the United States or Canada based on a seasonal sort of or regional look. But here in the Caribbean, clean lines, white paints, super less clutter, and only having the appropriate amount of forks and knives and cutlery relative to the maximum occupancy of your home is perfect. The special plates, the special cups, the 700 forks and knives, or you get what I'm saying. The less is better because it's very, very important that way. And the other thing I'll say is about special sheets, because when I was married, my master bedroom had to be 100,000 thread count bed sheets from Egypt and etc., which meant nothing to me, by the way, until I actually slept on them and I realized how great they are. But they meant nothing to me. But those special things like that go in your owner's closet.
Exactly.
And what we can do as a company is that if you're coming down and we've taken a video of your condo or villa prior to putting those things in the owner's closet, if we know you're coming down, we can take them back out of the owner's closet if you wish and set them up again in your place. Take your artwork back out, put it on the wall, put the tourist artwork in the owner's closet until you go. Because we know from a marketing perspective what sells, and high quality photos, high quality video of tourist style properties with artwork that matches is what's going to drive you revenue. And it's a very difficult conversation for us to say to you, your artwork doesn't drive revenue. But that's our job. And we know from, if you, down below, you'll see some links of some property videos that we've done for our rental program. And we can give you references from the people that we've worked with so that they can share with you that, yes, they had that difficult conversation with us. But once we get past that and money starts to flow, you'll think more of what we're saying is valid. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's very similar in sales.
Yeah, and also, for example, when I sell a property, I always try to explain to people, when you're going to buy a property and you want it to be a rental property, invest in good furniture, invest in good linens and everything, because your property, when it has solid wood, precious wood furniture, nice couches and things like that, you will rent better than the others, because people, when they come on a holiday, they want to choose the most pretty unit with the most quality furniture and finishes. And like Patrick says, it needs to be a hotel-like kind of feel. It needs to be luxurious. It needs to be pretty, not over accessorized. All these things are really important. I agree with you, absolutely.
It's almost like it becomes uncomfortably good looking.
Exactly.
It's not
like us,
Yeah, yeah. Uncomfortable and good looking. But it really becomes that way because you have to be conscious that the homeliness of your personalization of your home and condo is not going to benefit you in the rental program. What's going to benefit you is appropriate colors, appropriate furniture, and less is more in the world. Exactly. In this world. Patrick, the other thing I'm going to talk about is what is the most expensive utility in this country? What would you say is the most expensive utility?
The far as I know.
So we have, for example, cold water, hot water, internet, or electricity.
Electricity.
Right. Electricity, I can tell you, look, we've all been here in this statement. When we stay at a hotel and you want to go down to the lobby and have dinner with your significant person, I generally leave the hotel with the hotel room with the TV on, the fan
AC
on, and the air conditioning on stun, maybe a window open, and then I go out. This is what I mean by electricity is very expensive. And in this country, people will do that. They'll leave the patio doors wide open with everything running, and you can watch your dollars go out the door. So what we do as a system is that we take your typical electricity bill, divided by 30 or 31 days in the month, and then for every day that person is occupying the rental, they're told in advance the per day rate that they need to pay for electricity. So we generally can take a meter reading from the time they check in to the time they leave, and we say the exact same thing I just said. Typically, people go in, they leave the doors open, leave the air conditioning on, et cetera, and we tell the client, you can do that too, but congratulations, it's up to you. If you financially want to pay for that, it's no problem. But electricity ranges, our smallest unit is around $7 or $8 per day for a typical condo. And our largest villa, a 5-bedroom, luxurious, crazy sized villa, runs around $20 a day for electricity. So you can imagine that adds up very quickly.
Absolutely.
So that electricity we collect a rental rate for the consumer, the renter, and then we also collect a daily electricity rate, which those electricity goes back to the clients on a statement, right? And it's not a perfect science because sometimes, we're in the world of rentals. If we tell them 10 times that we're going to collect the revenue from them at check-in, there are people that will say, well, I was never told that.
Yeah, a lot of people.
And we have to deal with that. So I tell our clients that, look, if we can recapture 70% or more of your electricity bill per month, that's good. Because remember, we're not collecting electricity when it's not rented.
Yeah, you're right.
But you're not going to have fans and air conditioning units on when it's not rented either, right? So we've talked about cleanliness. We talked about decor. We talked about less is more. We talked about how, from the sales process, the peace of mind for the consumer, knowing that we do have a division that manages and looks after property. The other thing I wanted to talk about with that is location. The old real estate angle. So what Margarita can do with you in the sales process is that when you fall in love with whatever property you are thinking to purchase, we can do an analysis of that property location using real-time data from Expedia, Booking.com, Airbnb, VRBO. We have a program that can extrapolate all of that rental flow for up to 2 years prior, the current pattern, meaning the current day, and up to 6 months in advance what has been booked so far, so that we can tell the average daily rate in 3 seasons, low, shoulder, and high season, and also how many days of occupancy per month on average in each of those low, medium, low, shoulder, and high season. So that's part of location. And if you are in the market of wanting to drive revenue, after you fall in love with a property, you should also have Margarita run that report, which will do that for you, of course, that you can see what the potential can be. Sometimes it's surprising, and then other times it's not. It all comes down to the facilities at the location that you're going to buy, pool, no pool, number of bedrooms, number of baths, number of floors, the quality of the furniture, et cetera, et cetera. So those are very important things.
Yeah, pretty much location is a big part, whether it's by the beach.
Yeah. Modernness of it as well.
Modernness.
So, okay. So what other things? What other things do we need to talk about in management in today's world in the North Coast? Let's talk about housekeeping for a second. We talked about when we bring on properties originally, we bring on a new property, we do a deep cleaning. And then, of course, in between rentals, if we have a gap of time, we'll send our cleaning crew in to do a light refresh. But when it comes to a turnover, in order to be effective for you as a consumer, we have multiple cleaning staff, both on staff and then on call.
On call.
Because like last weekend, for example, in Las Terrenas, example,
Yeah.
everything in our system was completely full. Hotels, condos, and villas. And we had, in that same weekend, turnovers that people checking out by 11 o'clock and then checking in at between 3 and 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And when you have 12 or 20 villas all turning over at the same time with a 4-hour gap, it becomes challenging. So with that, we've always advised to our clients, cleaning is one thing, but and housekeeping is one thing, but the turnover of linen is important. So when you're buying or investing in a rental property here, you will always hear Marguerite and I say, you need at least 3 sets of sheets for every bed or a system that you have in your home, whether it's a pull-out couch or a bed. Because the system of linens, we can't simply just in 4 hours remove the sheets, wash them, dry them, and put them back on. We have a soaking time anywhere between 6 and 12 hours for the sheets to soak before they go into washing, for obvious reasons, right? And that has to happen. So that's why it's very important that when you invest in real estate down here, you invest with a revenue state of mind that what is required to make the most money, how do we do it, and listen to the advice of the professionals around you, because we're not saying it because we want you to spend your money. We want it so that we can make money for you effectively. Right? So we're going to do these updates on property management many times over the next little bit, but I wanted to introduce you to Patrick. Patrick is the guest service supervisor in this area for North Coast, Puerto Plata, Sosua, Cabarete. Obviously, you know Margarita. She's the master sales broker for the area and the country and the world globally. I'll let you close it out with your comments.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this little video. We'll be back for more. We always have more. Updates from Sosua, Cabarete, Puerto Plata, and also, of course, Las Terrenas, Samaná. So bye for now. Wish you a great day, and I don't know what you're waiting for because we're waiting for you. Bye.